or you can send your messages via WhatsApp. The number is on your screens. We're live on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on X. Tweet at us using the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Let us know your thoughts, your comments, and your contributions to the show. I have two gentlemen in the studio with me. I'll do a quick introduction, and then we'll get into our business for the day. Elvis Darko is here. He is the editor of the Newscenta newspaper, as well as Newscenta.com. Good morning, Elvis. Good to have you. And then the Honorable Collins Adomako Mensah, Member of Parliament for Efijakwabre North, is also here, former Deputy Energy Minister. Good morning, sir.
Morning, bro.
Good to have you. It's been a while.
Yes.
Hope all is well.
By God's grace.
Yeah. Well, you had some sad news over the weekend.
Yes.
Lost someone close to you.
Yes. I think it's part of the topics.
Exactly.
Conflict, and I'm sure when
so let's start from there. It appears there's this growing level of insecurity in the country. We've heard of the shooting in Bawku, in Lerigu, in Aswase, Denase, and all. And you happen to have had a personal experience losing someone close to you to a robbery and a shooting incident as well. Really, what could be happening?
Good morning to you, yourself, my co-panelists, and to our viewers. It's been a very tough week for me. On Thursday, I had a chat with this particular lady in question. She's been a part of my campaign in the constituency. Where the incident took place is the beginning of my constituency, Danase. That ushers you from Kumasi, ushers you into the constituency. The lady lives in Ahinkro, which is a town, just 2 towns after Danase. She indicated to me that she wanted to further her education. And of course, as a member of parliament and with her dedication to my campaign, I offered to assist. She decided to buy nursing forms. So I think she bought one for Mampong Nursing College and that of Salaga. She had gone for an admission interview at Mampong 2 weeks ago. And she was to do another one in Salaga.
Right.
So she sent me a message on Thursday to inform me that I should be leaving to Salaga, you know. And then Friday morning, I get a call from the assemblyman for Ahinkro, who tells me that Peggy has been involved in an accident. So I thought it was a very normal accident. Then he calls me back after 5 minutes to say that we lost her. So initially on my Facebook page, I thought it was a robbery. You know, subsequently, I got to know that it was a spillover from what had occurred at Asawase, where the Kusasi chief had been murdered, cold blood murder. Very unfortunate situation. Unfortunately for Peggy, she was in a bus with one gentleman, a group from the other faction thought was part of the gang that perpetrated that heinous crime at Asawase. So they had targeted the bus right away from Kumasi, and they had people stationed at Danase. So when the bus got to Danase, they started shooting. Unfortunately, Peggy, who has absolutely no link to this whole Kusasi, Mampusi thing, she's even a Fafra. She doesn't come from anywhere near those areas. Unfortunately, met her untimely death. And very young lady, very, very vibrant, very, you know, trying very hard to further her education. Very, very unfortunate situation. I visited the family over the weekend on Saturday, and your guess is as good as mine. I mean, the father, the mother, everybody shattered. You know, the whole community has been thrown off gear. The best I can say is to wish the family condolences. And I hope that the perpetrators are quickly brought to book. I saw the IGP in Kumasi and his team in Kumasi over the weekend. I'm sure they are there to ascertain for themselves at first hand what actually is going on. On Friday also, there was another shooting another killing, also in Asawasi again. And my fear is that this may spill over to other areas because there are Kusasis and Mampusis all over the Ghana, you know. And in my constituency, for instance, during the elections, I had Kusasis who were supportive of me tell me, I don't know, we can vote for you, but we can't vote for Baumia, you know. And why? He said they have instructions to a certain line, you know. Unfortunately, politicians, we've meddled in this this Kusasi Mampusi conflict for a very long time. Key politicians making public statements on these issues, and I hope that what we are seeing now in this 7 months should be a lesson to all of us to be circumspect in what we say, how we say it, and when we make those utterances. Otumfuo is doing his best to ensure that calm is restored. I mean, I don't remember when a student can be dragged from school, killed, filmed, you know, and it's all over social media. I think we have to be careful. I mean, and this Bawku crisis is getting to another level that I'm not too sure everybody anticipated it to be. Today they're under curfew. Economic activities will be done, gone. I mean, how do you survive, you know? And the 2 students who were killed. This is crazy. I mean, gang men enter a school, get students, kill them, film them, you know. We need to be careful. We need to be careful. And I'm just hoping that the security agencies will, as quickly as possible, bring some sanity within that space. I'm told the military has been brought in. The students have been evacuated. Let's hope that these measures will, in one way or the other, calm tensions down. But I fear for reprisal attacks, you know, because once you kill Peggy, once you kill the Kusasi king, once you kill somebody, I'm sure the other family members may rise up, if not today, some time to come. And you need to be careful.
Very well. Thank you, Honorable. Let's say good morning to Comrade Elikem Kotoko, Deputy CEO, Forestry Commission. Good to have you.
Good to be here. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. Elvis, let me come to you on the issue of what appears to be a rise in killings in recent times. Ashanti region, Bawku, Nalerigu, IGP has been to Aswase. Government says it's deployed military. It says it's moving from peacekeeping to peace enforcement. Is this the strategy? Will it work? And of course, the spillover that we are seeing.
Will it work? Well, we don't need to be told a protracted history of this particular conflict, how long it has lasted, and the number of lives that have been lost. I was checking on to see what is the damage so far, and I found that from November 2021 to April this year, over 300 people have been killed as a result of the Bawku. Yeah, over 300 people. November 2021, where the conflict escalated again till April this year, over 300 people have been killed. So if you look at the toll on human life, it's quite worrying that all this number of people have been killed, and still we are still experiencing this conflict. And as rightly said, it appears that the conflict is now being extended to other locations where these 2 tribes live. I think sometimes we just have to say statistics. The day the IGP went there and his car was fired on, clearly was a signal that there's a challenge to the power of the state. And I think the peace enforcement should have started at that point. Because if people can have the courage to shoot at the vehicle of the IGP, it's a very dangerous signal.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why we waited this while. I believe that if the security operatives actually look at what has happened, they may be thinking that maybe that was the right time to do something about the situation. After the IGP left the place, there was even a circular around that policemen have been withdrawn from the... Within this short time of period, if you look at the event, it tells you that the securities are aware of the seriousness of the situation, but it appears they seem not to have a hold on what strategy that will work. And maybe after back and forth, maybe they are now convinced that, well, look, irrespective of the consequences, the military must come in to enforce peace. And as I think we've said here before, that you see, everything must be done to end that conflict, because the number of lives that are being lost alone must be concerned to everybody. And the fact that so long as there's conflict there, the entire economy of the area cannot function. And poverty will increase, because obviously, who is going to be able to go to the farm today when even students on campuses are being dragged out, killed, and filmed? If you live in the area, even if you have a farm, you have to go to farm to even go and pick your food items, you think twice before moving.
Clearly.
Because clearly, the school campus is a more secure environment with a gate, with a security man and all that, and students can be picked up and murdered in such gruesome manner. They should tell you that if you live in that area, even to say you want to go to the market this morning to go and sell, you'll be thinking twice. And I think that it's something that every Ghanaian must be worried about. And as Honorable rightly said, see, when things about tribe happens, people are so passionate about their tribes, and people are so passionate about power, about who is the overlord, who has the right here, and who does not have the right here.
Right.
And therefore, when we see those things happening and we realize that there are tribal issues, there are chieftainship, there are control issues, it's not something that we should entertain politicization of such a situation. Because the moment we bring a politicization, then it means that we are actually exacerbating what already exists. Because we are moving it from tribal and now adding political angles to it. And that also has a way of dividing the people further, because we know that politics in Ghana, for instance, people are so passionate about their parties and what they think they stand for. And as we've said, every effort must be made, okay, to make sure that that place has some peace. As somebody has said, and there are so many things that people may suggest. Should the place be, should the whole place be divided into two so that they become autonomous regions of their own, so that every region will have its own kin? Because the issues about who is to be or who should be the rightful overlord of the area, and the two tribes are all claiming that they are the rightful overlords of the area. So the question is, if the issue of overlord is the issue, the question, how best do we address it? Because if they are under the same jurisdiction and one wants to exercise power over the other, and the other believes that, no, you don't have the right to exercise power over me, for which reason they decide to resort to violence and gruesome murder, will dividing them into two and say, look, now no one is under the other, and that as we speak, you have your own region, you have your own autonomy, these are the people under you, and therefore that nobody is under or is controlling the other. Will that work? It's something that we need to consider. Will a rotation, an agreement to rotate the paramountcy among the two work? Is something that should be considered. I think that a whole lot of suggestions and proposals and ideas need to be considered, and maybe along the way we may find one that is workable, that will bring the peace to the area, because a life lost can never be replaced. And as long as more people get killed, more people will want to also seek revenge. And that is why it will be difficult to stop it. And that is why everything has been done to make sure that the killing of people at least is brought under control, because in a period of from 21 to November 2021, it's just about 4 or we are in the 5th year, November maybe 5 years, and we are talking about
over 300
people
lives.
deliberately killing other people, and over 300, and those are the ones that are actually documented.
Yeah.
There may be many of the deaths that are not even documented. So the 300 we are even talking about may even be more. So the question is, why should this be happening? And as a state, we will still not be able to have. I think the military enforcement, in fact, at the time that the IGP went there, that was shot, and I said it that I think that was the time to make sure that we do the peace enforcement in the area. And I think that.
But what would this enforcement entail?
Oh, it will just make sure that people's movements are curtailed, restricted, and people don't have that opportunity to be able to commit crime. And that's why a curfew is being imposed.
Is that 2 p.m. to 6 a.m.?
Yes, and if you are living under a curfew of that nature, it's going to be so difficult for you to have any meaningful life, okay? Now, schools have been closed down in the community. Assuming you are in the community and your daughter or son is enrolled in Nalerugu or in a Bawku SHS, and now the school is closed down, your child is home. School terms are gone. You can't even move your child to another community to go to school. So probably your child is going to miss a year or 2 of education, because if this thing prolongs, the school is not open on time, their mates will move on once they are home. You understand? Their mates, I'm talking about in other regions and other places where there's no conflict. But every student of the Bawku, SHS or Nalerugu will not have the opportunity to graduate with their colleagues at the same time, or ride the YC with their colleagues at the same time, because war has forced the closure of the place. Even going to religious places to worship will become a problem. It will be difficult for people to have the freedom of worship. Freedom of men is curtailed. Almost everything. Now, how do you even move out as a trader to go and buy things from other communities that people need in Bawku? If they don't have it, then people need to travel to other areas to go and buy. On your journey, you are scared, because we've read of stories all over where cars are stopped and people are shot because of this Bawku conflict issue. So if you are a trader, you are the one supplying certain items to the community, and now you are scared. How do you go and bring those items? So the whole community is going to live in need, and it will affect everybody. Both sides get affected by this. So their lives never get improved. Their economy never gets improved. Everything actually retards in that community. So what doesn't bring anything good? So I think this emotional attachment to we are supposed to be the overlord and all this, they should be asking themselves, is it worth the number of lives that they are losing? Is it worth the economic pain they are going through? Is it worth the disruption in their education, in their religion, all aspects of their life? Are they saying that the truth of the matter is that to be the one to control, to say I'm the one who is the overlord, I have the power here. Is it worth it to be fighting over that and deny yourself all these things of life? This is a question that I think that people should ask themselves. And all this leadership and things we are fighting over, the question is, to what end? To what end? If you are declared the overlord, to what end? What does it add to somebody's life? What does it take away from somebody's life? So we should leave these things behind and begin to ask that, look, as this attachment to we should be the right overlord, why don't you look at the fact that we should want to be the economic power, we want to be the education power, we want to produce the best, the lawyers we want to make our community an attractive area to people. Why don't you rather focus? Why don't you focus your energies towards the? But rather, you are looking at the deterioration of the entire area because of this conflict, and all you are interested in that at all costs, I must be the one who is in control. And I think that if they ask themselves the rightful questions, and if they look back at where probably their great grandfathers came from, in terms of life, today their life, they should look at the future. They should look at the progress in the lives of other communities around them who are not going through this tribal conflict and compare to themselves and ask themselves, is this the future that they want to live for their children? That their generations will also come and it's all about fight and their economic progress, social life, everything will remain backward. Is that what they want? I think that people should start thinking beyond that emotional attachment to I should be the overlord, and rather be thinking about what kind of progress are we making. Look, power and control is about money. The reason America is controlling everybody is because they control the money in the world. The reason why Western countries control poorer countries is because they have the money. Control is not about the attachment to a position.
Right.
And it's not about I have guns. It's the main source of control in this world that people don't know. It's about how powerful you are economically. If you have economic power, you can control anything. In fact, that position you are talking about, economic power will lift you there.
Right.
But you can have the power without economic power. Economic power will make poverty will make sure that you lose that position.
Sure.
So the economy of Bawku and look, if the state is to tell us that in the past 30 years, the amount of money that has been used to keep the peace in Bawku, probably Bawku could be Singapore or Malaysia if that money is invested in developing the economy of Bawku alone.
Right.
They could be like Singapore or Malaysia because the amount of money, the military will just say we have deployed. Do you know the resource we are talking about? Fuel is moving. Right. Human beings are moving. Places they have to sleep. Food they have to eat. Everything has to be provided by the state for them to, as long as they are there. Right. The state has to provide everything that they need. That money could have changed the economy of Bawku. So why are we restricting it that we focus on our emotional attachment instead of things that will make sure that our lives improve?
Very well. Very well. Thank you. Comrade, your thoughts? This is Bawku crisis. Now we are seeing it trickling down. There's a possibility of it spreading elsewhere because residents or indigents from these areas living all over the country.
Yeah.
Enough is enough.
Thank you so much. I find it very difficult talking on such matters because just like Elvis rightly said, life lost can never be replaced. Yeah. And some of these happenings are reasons why the West believes that we must practice what they are imposing on us called democracy. Because they feel their way of doing things brings more peace or lasting peace compared to what Africans do. And you see, when there are atrocities that are related to reprisal attacks, the tendency or the ability to nip it in the bud is very, very difficult. Because one faction feels that if you have taken a life of mine, I must also take two, because I am taking one in response to the one you have taken, and the other one as a top-up to let you know that I can also, or we can also do more. Right. And this is so sad to say. To some large extent, one would have thought that if this were Stone Age, then we could say illiteracy plays a major part of this, but not at all. Just the same way you have people so adamantly loyal to somebody, no matter their education. This is the same way in the role, tradition, and chieftaincy or our internal traditional matters concern us. So even though I am not surprised, I am, however, disappointed that differences in opinions, differences in kinship, or differences in authority will continue to result into such matters. And painfully, the people who lose their lives mostly are not the very ones who even are at the forefront of such battles. It's the innocent ones. Yeah. It's the very people who sometimes may even be advocating for peace. I mean, come to think of it, I'm not sure there's a northerner here, or somebody from that enclave. I am a Voltairean, a proud one. But I consider the northern part of Ghana my second home, especially even the Upper East. Reason being that from 2016 to date, I have been to that region more than 20 times. Okay. Politically though, but even way back as a student leader. And the love they show to we the other tribes. So sometimes I get surprised that if you can show me this form of love, if you can welcome me this way, why allow what maybe I would see to be a little or minor differences, even if it is huge. The fact that I can say something and you understand I'm a foreigner and still contain me, why can't you contain each other so we live peacefully? And it is very worrying, very disturbing, because look at the young students who were gunned down. I heard of some killings also in Ashaman. I don't know if I heard that over the weekend.
No, we cannot confirm that.
Okay, good. But there was some also in Ofinso. There was another also at the Asawase as well.
Yes.
And that involved a chief.
Yeah.
And you see, when we allow these reprisal attacks or retaliations begin to manifest, it becomes a very complex issue to handle. Because what it means is that no matter where you find yourself, so long as you're a Kusasi or you're a Mamprusi, you need to be on the red alert.
Yeah.
So you're walking and you have to be watching over your shoulders. You are going to bed and you don't even know who can come and break. No matter the security you feel you have, they may come in there. And we must just be able to tell them straight in the face that, hey, what you are doing is embarrassing. You are disgracing your own selves. And hey, at this particular point in time, Ghana needs peace more than ever. More importantly, because we even have a new president who is just 7 months old in government, trying to reset this country, trying to put things right. And again, to lay credence to what Elvis said, the more you do these kind of things, have you thought of the fact that you are in self-denial of a lot of benefits that could accrue to you? Because economic activity comes to a halt. Even your benefit or health challenges, because if somebody is even ill, or you who is involved in this fight, you may have an elderly relation, your mother, your father, an uncle, or whoever, who needs to seek medical care.
Right.
But because of the circumstances, you are unable to do so. And again, in those places, the primary modus of transport is motorbikes and bicycles.
Yeah.
If there's a curfew, it affects you as well too. So even though you may think that it is infidelity to a certain traditional cause, you are again denying yourself one thing or the other.
Yeah.
However, this is not to rule out the fact that there's need for us to sincerely sit down and make sure that at the table we resolve these matters. I have always maintained that what the Western world has come to define to us as democracy is not what should be the case. And I have said this openly everywhere. But circumstances of this nature lay credence to what the Western world has come to tell us. Because in years past, our chiefs were the traditional authorities.
Yeah.
They sat back, we listened to both ends, and you see, because democracy always tells us that the majority does what? Carries the vote. But what if the majority are fools? They will still carry the vote then. They will still have their say. But the chiefs in our traditional settings will sit, listen to both ends, and realize that the majority are saying, let's go this way. The minority are saying, let's go that way. And in his wisdom, or in that traditional setting wisdom, they could tell that even though the majority want us to go this way, it is the wrong way. It is who are rather the wise ones. But if we continue to escalate reprisal attacks in these forms and traditional internal fightings and killings and all these things, then we are defeating the purpose for which we ourselves are saying that we respect our traditional authorities. Because I am not sure it is stipulated anywhere in any code, written or unwritten, verbal or non-verbal, that where there are disagreements and there is a deadlock, then the only result must be attacks, killings, or violence. I must again commend the eminent chief of the Ashanti, Otumfuo, and the others who are involved in these. I am not in any way suggesting that their efforts are not enough, but I believe that when issues of this emanate further, then it means that there's need for intensified action towards resolving the matter or towards the peace-building process. Because whilst government is doing its own, the traditional authorities must also do its own. And it again tells you and myself that that means our traditional authorities hold so much power. The involvement of the Otumfuo and the others, the names I'm unable to mention, which is why, tells strongly that government alone cannot achieve this. Government alone cannot yield the desired result, because the traditional settings also value some traditional authorities or linkages, etc. And so the Otumfuo's involvement also sends a certain signal.
Right.
Hey, he is also an Ashanti. I would even be happy to also hear that even there are other chiefs who are also involved. It could be the chief of Anglon, the chief of Asogli, the Domaheni. All we need to find a lasting peace for this. But further, we need to also escalate the peace process. I mean, even if it needs some of our religious leaders.
Right.
His Eminence Cardinal Turkson is also there.
Yeah.
And all these people. We need to now put in everything, because, look, I have been saying some things that many do not pay attention to. A gentleman who has been killed just yesterday probably could have been the face saver of my daughter in the near future.
Yeah. Yeah.
So somebody may even become a street kid in the next 10 years or 50 years or 20 years, or become a dropout. It could be that that person who was killed yesterday would have been his or her savior had he lived to that time.
Right.
So there are a lot of linkages that we all need to know, for which reason nobody should think that, in local parlance, extreme for no more one day the jamu no munku so munku you know.
Yeah.
But these are things and realities, and they must know themselves. If you are at each other's throat, and in the end, from November 2021 till date, 300 killings. The very leaders themselves are still alive and well, and they are thriving. Meanwhile, business has come to a halt. Economic activity is not moving on well. Development, you are being stifled off, because when even public and private people are, private businesses will not want to venture there.
No.
When public officials are posted over there, they will prefer to just be dismissed from work or be reconsidered and all of that. And we know all of this.
Right.
And they themselves know. We must only echo further that we are begging them that let them allow peace to prevail. And it has a very precious value compared to the violence they are visiting on themselves.
Very well. I'll take a few